can't help it if I've got a heavy flow and a wide-set vagina.
This movie
Yeah, I can't do this.
has so many fucking
Snowberry.
quote. I had no idea.
Intelligent.
She's totally rich because her dad invented toaster strudel.
Christian Wieners knows everybody's business. She knows everything about everything. So if you're from Africa, why are you white?
Oh my...
Who here has ever been called a slut?
Probably. Hey!
Okay.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Kemma's Never Seen It. I'm Kemma, and today the movie we're going to be talking about is Mean Girls. If you have never been here before, I basically take recommendations on movies I've never seen, which is basically every movie ever, give a quick synopsis about what they're about, and give my opinion. Will it differ from yours? Probably. But if you've never seen this movie, I'm putting a big spoiler alert right here because we're about to talk about it. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into what this movie's about based on the DVD cover summary. Raised in the African bush country by her zoologist parents, Cady thinks she knows all about the survival of the fittest. But the law of the jungle takes a whole new meaning when the homeschooled 15-year-old enters public high school for the first time. Trying to find her place among jocks, mathletes, and other subcultures, Cady crosses paths with the meanest species of all, the queen bee, aka the cool and calculating Regina, leader of the school's most fashionable clique, the Plastics. When Cady falls for Regina's ex-boyfriend, though, the queen bee is stung, and she schemes to ruin Cady's social future. Cady's own claws soon come out as she leaps into a hilarious girl world war that has the whole school running for cover. Two things: didn't wear pink because they said on Wednesdays we wear pink. It's not Wednesday, it is Thursday, so I'm not wearing pink today. Also, there's parts of me that thinks that I should have released this on October 3rd for obvious reasons.
On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
It's October 3rd.
But October 3rd falls on a Friday. I post on Thursdays. It just wouldn't really line up. But let's get into the movie. We start off the movie with Cady. She once again was raised in South Africa, and she's been homeschooled for the past 14 years, I believe she said. But she's not what you would think of when you think of your regular like homeschool kind of kid. Like, she's not like weird or, you know, overly religious and like weird. But now that they're going to be moving, she has to go to a public high school for the very first time. Very different from homeschool. And again, because this is her first time like in a big school, she doesn't even know the school. It's big to her. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know where to go. She's trying to figure out where she should sit and stuff. She's already messing up. She ran into one of the teachers and spilled her coffee and donuts. All the teachers are yelling at her because they said she can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. So it's just the first day of school. It wasn't the best.
Don't read ahead.
No green pen.
No food in class.
Bleiben Ihren vorgenannten Platz.
And again, she's new, so of course she doesn't have any friends. She's the new girl, and you know, it's high school. You know, a lot of times they're not really so welcoming if you already have your cliques and clubs and stuff. You gotta kind of find your way in there. The next day, we officially meet Janice and Damien. They introduced themselves to her, and she asked them where certain classes, and they said they're gonna go out and show her. Well, they didn't. They took her just like out to the field or something, and they just skipped class. But it was a sex ed class, so she didn't really miss much. The teacher really just said if you have sex, you'll get pregnant or die. So she didn't really miss much. But then when they're out there, they're introduced to the Plastics. We meet Karen Smith, which apparently she's not a very bright girl. She's kind of dumb, unfortunately. We meet Gretchen Wiener, and her dad invented or came up with toaster strudel. Let me listen. I ran on toaster strudel back in the day. I can't tell you the last time I had a toaster strudel, but after watching this movie, I'm gonna go buy me 4 boxes. And then we meet Regina George, the leader of the Plastics, the main girl, and everyone in the school is either like scared of her or they love her or a combination of both. Also, side note, this part was like just the beginning of the movie. I don't watch movies, as you know, read the title of my channel. I had no idea that so many TikTok sounds and quotables and just like things that people say around me my entire life have been from this movie. There are so many quotables from this movie that I was not aware of until I watched this movie. There are so many. Nobody told me they were from this. But anyway, Janice gives Cady a diagram of the lunch tables in the school. And it's basically just like, this clique sits here, this clique sits here, blah, 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 blah. But make sure you stay away from the Plastics. Those are the people you don't want to be with. And they probably wouldn't accept her anyway. But they do. So Cady ends up being suckered in to sit with the Plastics. And Regina seems really nice at first. You know, she seems like interested to talk to Cady and have them hang out with her and invites her to sit with them for the rest of the week. So everything seems pretty sweet. Now, Cady tells Janice this, and Janice has an idea. She said, I want you to sit with them. I want you to hang out with them. And I want you to find out everything about Regina, all her secrets, everything that she says, and report it back to me. Because Regina is a horrible person, and I just want to know everything that's going on with her. It's high school. It makes sense. So later on in the day, towards the end of the day, Cady is in math class. She's taking like, I think a senior level calculus class or something like that. And she sees her first high school crush. His name's Aaron Samuels. And again, she hasn't really had a crush on anyone really her entire life. And again, being homeschooled kind of makes sense. But turns out that's Regina's ex. Now, Cady tells Gretchen and Karen about this guy. Of course, she doesn't know who he is and what his relationship is to Regina. But now that they're considering that they're in this clique, they're friends and everything, they're telling her, you can't. You're not allowed. That's not allowed. But Gretchen's just like, don't worry. We won't tell her anything. Your secret is safe with us. So going on in the movie, again, Cady was in that higher level math class. And apparently she really loves math. That's like her thing. Math used to be my thing. And then there's something in my brain that clicked off. And it just all went downhill from there. But the mathletes are just like, hey, we could really use you on your team. Yes, you're good at math, but you're also a girl. So we kind of need like the perks of that kind of stuff. But the plastics and Janice and Damien both tell her not to do it because it's just like, it's a no. It's just a no. So she hears that, but I think it's something she's still thinking about in the back of her head. Because again, she likes math and it seems like a club that she can join. And she's a new girl. She's just trying to fit in. So I think she's kind of thinking about it. But later on, she goes to the mall with the plastics. And this is where she gets her first taste of Regina George being Regina George. There's a boy at the mall that Gretchen really likes. I guess he's not really giving her any play. And he's with another girl. So Regina decides to call the girl's mom and do a little prank that will basically make sure that that girl isn't able to be with any guy.
This is Susan from Planned Parenthood. I have her test results. If you could have her give me a call as soon as she can. It's urgent. Thank you.
So yeah, not cool. Not cool at all. Pretty evil. So Cady sees it, but she doesn't really know how to conceptualize it. So she's just like, oh, okay. Then they go to Cady's house. Very nice house. And they're in the room. They're hanging out and all this kind of stuff. And we're introduced to the burn book. Now, this is a book that basically they cut pictures out of the yearbook or different pictures of, I think, mostly the girls in the school. And they put their picture in the book and they write all these things about them. Usually really bad, negative things. Things that they think about them that are obviously negative, maybe secrets or anything like that. And Cady accidentally contributed to it because they see a picture of Janice and Damien and they're just like, oh, Cady's just like, oh yeah, that's that guy Damien who's, too gay to function. Something that Janice told her, not something Cady should be telling other people, and they wrote it in the book. So yeah, she's seeing like small little things, but to her, I guess she's still, it's not clocking to her. It's still not clocking to her.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
So then she gets another taste of Regina being Regina, and Regina calls her. She's just like, oh, Gretchen told me about the whole Aaron thing. Are you going to go with him? Are you going to talk to him? Because like, it's okay, but like, aren't you mad that Gretchen told me? Basically trying to bait her to say some bad things about Gretchen. All Cady said was like, yeah, sure. I mean, what she did was, a little messed up, but maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe she wants attention. Meanwhile, Gretchen's on the other line and she's like, you think I need attention? Blah, blah, blah. And then Regina hangs up like nothing happened. She's a snake. But again, Cady still doesn't see anything really, really wrong. She's just kind of playing the field. And she takes it as a sign to start talking to Aaron more. So then she has more instances where like she's just doing kind of like small talk with him. Then Aaron decides to invite her to a Halloween party that he's throwing. And she, she's trying to dress up like something scary, something Halloween based, not knowing that she's actually supposed to dress way more down than what she actually was. Now, I've dressed up as a few things in my life and they all haven't been revealing or slutty things. I dressed up as Rick James one time. You'll see that. If you keep watching this channel, you'll see that. But, I liked her costume. The teeth were a little much, but I liked her costume. But for a high school party, should have dressed down a little more, I guess. But they're all at the party, and then Regina runs into Aaron and was going to talk to Aaron for Cady. But she's basically just throwing a lot of dirt on her name, saying like she's obsessed with you, she's weird, she's all this kind of stuff. And when doing that and just basically making her look like this crazy obsessed person, She ends up kissing Aaron, and now they're a thing. Mind you, there are many things that Regina has done that have been very questionable, but Cady kind of just turned a blind eye to it. But now that she's kissing her crush, she's just like, we got to take her down. She goes over to Janice and Damien's and is just like, hey, she took Aaron from me. What are we going to do? And they come up with this plan. Janice is just like, listen, if you want to take someone down, you got to take down their resources and what's important to him. We got to get rid of Aaron. We got to make sure get rid of her nice rockin' hot body. And we have to get rid of Gretchen and Karen and make them turn against her. So now Cady needs to hang out with them like nothing's wrong. And basically, again, just play the field and try to, again, make sure this plan goes into the action. And they try some stuff, but they're not very successful. Like, Regina's breaking out on her face a little bit, and Cady gives her a cream that is made up of like a face cream and then some foot cream that Janice makes her. It didn't work. She just smelled like peppermint.
Your face smells like peppermint.
Then they cut some holes into like a little tank top that she has. So now like her bra is poking out. And instead of it ruining, her clothes and her day, she became a trendsetter. It's around Christmas time, and there are the things called candy cane grams. I think my school had them back in the day, so I'm pretty familiar. But basically, you send like little notes to people, and you can give them like little like Christmas grams or whatever. So Regina already told Cady that she doesn't give them to people just give them to her. So then Cady had the idea to be like, oh, I want to write these candy grams, and had them signed out, one to Cady, one to Karen, both from Regina, but not one to Gretchen. So now Gretchen's starting to spiral because, her main girl, it looks like she's kind of forgetting about her and being mean to her. And this also takes ahead when we have our like winter talent show. They do the same Jingle Bell Rock routine every year, but now that they have Cady, they have 4 people, they have to arrange some stuff. So now Cady is in the middle with Regina, Gretchen is on the side, and it just throws Gretchen off her rocker, and she ends up kicking the radio they use for the music off the stage. But Cady ends up singing the song, saving the performance, and then again, Regina's giving her praise and kind of just neglecting Gretchen. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell rock. Now there's a crack in the foundation, and now they're trying to move on to a new step to get her and Aaron to break up. Now, Regina's cheating on Aaron. She makes out with this guy in the auditorium, I guess, every day at lunch or whatever. And they're trying to get him to barge in. That way he could see it for himself. But they never catch her. They even catch a teacher. The sex ed teacher I was talking about, they catch him making out with a student.
Coach Carr? Trang Pak?
So yeah, so that idea is not working. So they're just like, listen, we kind of got the ground moving with getting her pawns out of here. So we're working on that. The Aaron thing we'll probably have to wait on. Let's get to her body. So Regina's always talking about, oh, I need to lose 3 pounds. I need to lose weight. I need to do this. And Cady has these like nutrition bars that her mom would use for like, back in Africa, like kids in the village want to help them like gain weight. She would give them to them so that they could eat. But Cady gave it to Regina saying they're for weight loss, and it's in Swedish, so you can't really read it and see what it's about, but it'll help her lose all this weight. So she's giving her a ton of stuff, telling her to go on an all carb diet, all this stuff. So that plan is going on, and as they keep hanging out, going on and on and on, unfortunately, Cady is really getting engulfed in the friend group and is starting to become a mini Regina, a mini mean girl, if you will. She pretends to be bad at math. That way she can have Aaron come in to tutor her. So they go back to Cady's house, I believe. And it's just like, I'm so bad at this, but thank you so much for all your help. And it's basically trying to be like, why are you with Regina? Why do you care about her? He can't really explain it, but he's just like, there's some good parts about her, I guess. And then Cady just blurts out,
She's cheating on you.
What?
well, that'll do it. So Aaron, out of here. Now they're trying to, again, work on the plastics in the friend group more. So Damien, he's a part of like the committee or whatever for like the spring fling dance, whatever they're gonna have, and they crown like a queen and king on in it every time. So he does this thing where he kind of messes up the votes, and he makes sure that, of course, Regina's in there, but then he also puts Karen in there, Gretchen in there, the three plastics, and he puts Janice in there just to be funny. But Cady's also nominated. Damien didn't put her in there. People are just starting to like her, I guess. Now, the other girls getting nominated usually doesn't happen. It's usually just Regina. So Cady calls Regina and is just like, oh man, like, are you upset that, you know, Gretchen got nominated? And Karen's like, no, I'm not upset. I just think that she's not that pretty. So I think people are making fun of her. And like, sure, Karen could have been nominated, but people forget about her because she's just a slut. And then Regina hangs up. Gretchen's on the other line. Here's what Regina had to say. Then Karen calls. Regina tells Karen what Regina said. And now the friends are breaking up.
And you can't sit with us.
Whatever. Those rules aren't real.
Now, there's parts of me that wants to feel bad for Regina, but then she really, really makes it a point to remind you she is a mean girl, and you probably shouldn't feel bad for her. So later on in the movie, again, Cady is the new Regina. Like, now Gretchen and Karen are following her around, and she's just the new Regina, and Regina's on the outskirts. And she invites Aaron over with the other plastics just to have a small little get together and stuff. But that quickly transforms into a huge party. So now basically the entire school and other people she doesn't even know are there. Now, Regina hears about this party, and she's just like, I basically made her, and she's going to try to have a party without me. And she shows up. Cady finds herself upstairs with Aaron, and she's talking to him and stuff, but the more she's talking, the more she's putting her foot in her mouth. And Aaron's just like, you sound just like Regina, and I don't like this. There's a reason why me and her are not together. I don't like this at all. And he's trying to get up to leave, but then Regina comes in the door, and she's like, what's all this then? Cady throws up on Aaron. He leaves. Everything's just a mess. Then Janice and Damien catch Cady outside the party, and it's just like, oh, you didn't want to come to my art gallery because you were going to be having a big party and didn't want to invite us. How strange. Look at what's going on now. And basically, she just lays into her, rightfully so, because again, though this was Janice's idea to kind of stay in there and get information, unfortunately, Cady being the new girl, not really knowing much about high school social norms, she just got engulfed too quick, and now she's turned into this new mean girl.
Aaron Samuels, for example, he broke up with Regina, and guess what? He still doesn't want you. So why are you still messing with Regina, Cady? I'll tell you why, because you are a mean girl. You're a bitch.
Oh, and in the background, Regina finds out about the bars. So she probably hates Cady a lot. So Regina is so mad because, again, she's just like, this girl. And she gets her burn book. She takes a picture of her and Cady, and she writes this stuff in it saying that she's awful, the worst person, she's fugly, all this stuff. But instead of putting Cady's picture in it, which you thought she would have, she puts her own picture in there. When I tell you she reminds you of how she's the OG mean girl, I mean it. She puts her picture in there, gives it to the principal, and it's just like, I found this in the girls' bathroom. Who would write some stuff like this? Like, I'm just a victim here. One up for Regina. So after she gives it to the principal, she leaves, and then Gretchen, Karen, and Cady are asked to come to the principal's office because they're the only three girls who are not in the book. While that's happening, Regina has printouts of all the pages, and she throws them in the hallway. She puts them under the door of classrooms. She puts stuff on the lockers, and then everyone gets out of class and they see what the screenshots are. Even the page about the teacher messing with the students, even that one was put out on there, and he gets caught.
I pulled these two off each other. Coach Carr, step away from the underage girls.
And he just ends up running away. No, I don't think anyone finds him again. It's chaos. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's yelling. Everyone's reading these things. And it's a mess. And now there has to be a whole junior girl meeting so we can get to the bottom of this and we can figure something out. Now, Miss Norbury, she's one of the teachers. She's actually the teacher that I talked about in the beginning that had the coffee and donuts spilled on her. She has to take over and basically is trying to help the girls realize, listen, y'all all talk shit about each other. It looks like all of y'all have talked behind each other's backs. But, you know, things like that happen. But let's see what we can do to talk about our grievances in a healthy way. One of the ways that she does it is she's like, everybody go up, write an apology, and we're all going to do a trust fall into the crowd. So a bunch of girls are like reading their little things, and then they do a trust fall to catch the other girls and all this kind of stuff. And it looks pretty wholesome and nice. And then Janice goes up and she decides to spill the entire plan that she had involving Cady, Regina, and everything. And everyone thinks that Janice is a hero, but Regina is not happy. So Regina runs out. Cady goes behind her and she's just like, listen, I want nothing to do with you. You're basically just a dumbed down version of me and it's not cute. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. And then she gets hit by a bus.
You could take that fake apology and shove it right up your hairy...
She didn't die, so that's good. Also, I hope they fired that bus driver because, like, imagine that's the same bus driver that at the beginning of the movie almost ran over Cady trying to first get into the school. Why? How do you have a lot? What is going on? And then back to the school. Cady went on this rant earlier in the movie talking about like, oh my God, Miss Norbury is failing me. She totally hates me. It's because it's not my fault that she's divorced and has 3 jobs. She probably sells drugs. She's probably peddling stuff to kids and stuff. She wrote that in the burn book. So then of course, that was one of the screenshots that people read. And now she's out of the school. Now, because of the allegations about the gym teacher and, him being with students, they have to take that stuff seriously. And it's just like, we don't know. Has anyone ever gotten drugs from this teacher? And then Cady has to fess up and say that she wrote it and lied. So the teacher returned to school, gives Cady a lot of shit for it, obviously, because her house got searched. She could have lost her job. Like a lot of bad stuff could have happened. And then she's just like, you know what? I forgive you, but you have to do me a favor now. And she basically makes her join the mathletes, which again, she didn't want to do because apparently that would like ruin her reputation. But hey, I guess if this makes it up for her, sure. Fast forward, there's a mathlete competition. They end up winning. Good job. And then the spring fling dance is later on, and they all end up going to the spring fling dance. Again, the nominees for the queen, for the crown, were Janice, Regina, Gretchen, Karen, and Cady. And Cady ended up winning. Now, no one's really happy that she won. And she even goes up to make a speech, which isn't normal, by the way. But she goes up to make a speech and she's just like, growing up, I never knew the importance of these things. I don't really get it. It's not my thing. We're all winners. We're all queens. We're all beautiful. And she like breaks the crown and throws it in the crowd for people to get little pieces. Yeah, honestly, it's high school, so cliche, but it's supposed to be based in high school, so that kind of makes sense. So I guess now everybody's more tolerable of her after that speech, which I guess is nice. At least she can kind of live normal. And she makes up with Janice and Damien and is just like, I'm done with that. I'm sorry. That was crazy of me. I'm sorry. And she also, I guess, makes up with Aaron and they have their dance kiss, which... okay, cool. And then at the end of the movie, we find out that Regina, she gets fixed. Her body, recovers. She does physical therapy and her physical therapist recommended that she does sports. That way she can let a lot of her anger out. So she does that. Karen becomes the school morning weather person. Gretchen just becomes a part of another clique. I guess that's just in her. And Aaron moved schools. Honestly, good for him. Aaron moved schools and Cady is now just a normal person amongst the students in her class. Like now it's nothing crazy, nothing weird. And the cycle may happen again because, new students come in, new cliques form. One class is not associated with the other class. So, there might be another mean girl group, but at least the upperclassmen now know, they know how to take care of it this time and hopefully coach them out of it. And that's the end of the movie. This movie got a 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, you probably wouldn't expect this from me. I think that's a fair rating. I really like this movie. This movie was hilarious. Of course, it's very dated. It was from 2004. Very dated. There's some things in there they said or did that you can't really say or do now. So I get all of that. However, this movie was good. I really like this movie. And 84, to me, I think that was a fair rating. What do you think? I know most of you have probably watched this when it first came out, or you've just watched it over the past 20, 21 years. So you're better than me. But what do you think? Is that a fair rating? Would you rate it higher, lower? I think they made a remake last year too, which, is it worth watching that if you've seen it? But that's the end of my video, and thank you all so much for tuning in this week. If there's something that you agree with, disagree with, you want to say how good I did, or you have any suggestions for movies that I can watch in the future, please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. I'm here. I'm pushing out the content. We're doing it. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. Kemma's Never Seen It on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And that's Kemma J on Blue Sky. And as always, I want to express my appreciation and gratitude for you guys tuning in this week and every week. Or if you just got here, hey, I got more videos back there, so check them out. But I appreciate you guys nonetheless. Thanks for tuning in and caring at least a little bit to know what I think about all these movies. But that's it for my video, and I will see you guys back here next Thursday. Bye.